What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Basement Gaming. We are back. I had to take a bit of a little break.
He was hurt.
I was hurt.
Weak stomach.
Cut. No, it had nothing to do with my stomach. Had little snip cut stuff. It hurts. It's better now.
I was gonna say something.
Random. What?
I was gonna say something. Never mind.
Is your mic on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to catch myself. I was like, "You about to cut this whole part out and redo it?" All right.
Yeah, so we're back. Yeah. Better, healthy. Much healthier actually. I feel better. Thank you. Appreciate it. So on today's episode, we got a lot of episodes to cover this week. To catch up on. A lot of things happened in my short
Hiatus. Yeah. Injured reserve.
Injured reserve. It really was. I couldn't do anything. All right. So. Actually, we had a lot to talk. We had things to talk about today, but then something wonderful just dawned on our lap.
I don't even know if it's wonderful.
It's hilarious. Because a lot of companies tend to think merging together is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I had Sprint, and T-Mobile took them over, and then I thought that merger was great. I wasn't working out so well, so I switched to AT&T. A little more solid. Now, speaking of AT&T, if you haven't heard today, AT&T is officially merging with WarnerMedia and Discovery, bringing together the following: CNN, TBS, TNT, HDTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, etc., WB Film Studios,
Woohoo!
and then HBO Max and Discovery Plus. So all of them will be under one mega streaming service. Now, I feel two ways about this.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's something that everyone's, and I had time to think about it. I don't like to just jump into out of a knee-jerk reaction unless it's Microsoft, and that's warranted.
Speaking of, a couple more weeks.
Oh,
you got 4?
actually, the next episode, Thursday. Yeah, we're filming tomorrow. You're filming tomorrow. Thursday's episode will be about Microsoft joining with, not joining, but collabing with Nintendo.
Oh, with something. With something.
Anywho, so there are those who look at streaming mergers as a good thing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of streaming services. I do Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix,
Hulu.
Crunchyroll, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, not Disney, Discovery Channel, all that other stuff. I just had no interest for, but combining services could be a good thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you do it and you just leave a set price and they can watch all the stuff, fine, that's fine. Yeah. But if you have a set price and you say, well, to unlock this, you gotta pay more. I'm like, what was the point?
Well, So I feel like they should just combine HBO Max and Disney Plus together.
I agree.
And just make it like, I don't know, Warner Plus, or just change the name for all I care. You'll have the same content for both just on one streaming service. And if you just, instead of the, how much is it now? I forgot. I paid for it. HBO Max. Or you pay for it. Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, if you make it like $14 and you include both, yeah, that's fine. As far as like what you were just saying, the unlocking thing,
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It depends on what
it depends on the movie.
Yes.
So with that and Disney Plus, with Disney Plus Premiere, like certain movies, I'm like, okay, whatever. You paid $30, you get the movie, you keep the movie or whatever. That's fine. I don't mind that. I think it just depends on the movie and if I'm willing to pay.
Yes.
Like either I'll pay the $30 or go to theaters.
Yeah.
It just depends. But that type of thing, I know people get mad over Disney doing it with what was that movie that came out? Mulan, when that first came out. And they did it with Raya, the Last Dragon, and I think they're doing it with Black Widow. Yes, I'm okay with Marvel movies having a $30 price, because either way, people are going to go see it. Yeah, like certain things, and it's not like they're saying, oh, you can only watch it here. It's not going to be in theaters. Or you got to wait until it comes out on yes, so that's fine. I'm not going to bug out. So HBO just like, oh, if you want to watch the next blah, blah, blah movie, it's $30 or $20 or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, I think HBO has a spoil. It's such away.
I think they could get away with it. I'm not gonna say they make more money than Disney to not worry about it. I think it's just
No, that's
I think it's just a choice because they know people are gonna see it regardless if they watch it through the app that they pay for or in theaters. Either way, they're gonna get their money back for it.
Warner Brothers. The difference between Warner Brothers and Disney
Mm-hmm.
is that Disney has they put out like they put out movies every so often throughout the year. Like that includes like Pixar stuff and all that stuff. Marvel movies. Well, in the past, it came out at least they had different Marvel movies, about like 3 to 4, and that was fine. And then you include Pixar. Now it's a little bit different because everything was pushed back. But in Disney Marvel's defense, a lot of things that were pushed back for them were like the shows.
And then Black Widow was
pushed. Then Black Widow, obviously. Eternals comes out this year. Thank goodness. Loki comes out. So I think they're kind of up to speed. However, with HBO Max, their production companies and studios have a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. Like, you saw what they were pushing out this past year alone, and they didn't charge you extra because to them, it's like, we're going to make it up. It don't matter.
Yeah.
And I think that they had about over 4 million extra subscribers since doing that, which is a good thing. So they can get away with it. I see why Disney charges more though, because they don't put it out like that.
Yeah.
So I get the differential part of it. So to merge, which is going to lead me to my next point, which is the negative point I have with this. Clearly, it has to do with DC Universe. And the WB Warner Brothers owns it. I'm a believer if I understand that correctly. So they own it, and there's already like a fighting back and forth with this. Now you're adding more. Now I don't know who's going to be in charge. It says the WB Studios is now a part of all of that. So it just depends on who's in charge.
Who's the head of
it? And my thing is right now, maybe, let's say maybe whoever's in charge can give a different perspective on them going about it.
I don't even want a different perspective now.
No. I mean different perspective as far as them doing.
I know. I hear you. I don't want a different perspective. I want, if they're in control, say it's Zack Snyder, right? And then Warner Brothers. And they're going at it, like head and head. Yes. And then above Warner Brothers now, let's say it's their new boss or the new person over them who has final say. I don't want to, if we do Zack Snyder, blah, blah. I don't even want that anymore. I just want them to come down like, we're doing the Snyderverse.
But that's what I mean, as a different perspective.
No,
I don't mean.
I don't want them to review everything.
I'm not saying review. Okay. I'm saying that right now, clearly what's going on isn't working.
Yeah.
So what I mean by a different perspective is, like you said, I don't know. Again, I don't know how.
I don't know how it works.
The chain of command is going to work with.
But if there's someone above them who says,
"Hey, I'm signing off. All right, guys, here, go do it." Then that's fine.
Yeah.
Again, that depends on if that's going to take place.
Yes.
If it's not, and you're just going to add more confusion, mergers are 50-50. My thing was with even before hearing about this merger, my thing was I was willing to give DC another year. And the reason I say another year because you can only give us so many chances. Suicide Squad. Oh, that's another one. Suicide Squad comes out on HBO Max or theaters.
Yeah.
I'm willing to see this.
Yes.
Because I'm a huge James Gunn fan, so I'm good with that. The last Suicide Squad movie was anyway.
I still never seen it.
Yeah, maybe I didn't finish it. Because
I might watch it just because before the next one come out.
So you see my point. So I get that's coming out. I don't know what other. I know there's like rumors of like an Arkham Knight HBO thing, and that depends.
Like I feel like. For, how should I say this? Not to recoup the money, but it's a business, and every business wants to make money.
Of course. Hence,
Marvel drops movies and TV shows because it makes them millions upon millions of dollars per movie. Yeah. So I feel like, So I feel like for them to, I guess you could say, recoup what they spent to get Warner Brothers and DC and everything, they should do what's in the best interest for them to make their money. Because every business is all about money. No matter what any CEO or whatever tells you, it's all about how much can they get back from themselves, how much can they line their pockets up.
Yes.
And the smart thing to do would be to restore the Snyderverse. Because
No, I agree with
as
you.
of right now, once again, you have Flash, you have the new Batman guy, you have Wonder Woman getting a third movie eventually.
Yes.
Aquaman, I was about to call him something else. Aquaman's getting I was about to call him Fishman. Aquaman's getting his. Black Adam's coming out. You get another Shazam, and that's all in good. You're getting Black Superman and Supergirl. That's all in well.
Yeah.
But to me,
It's-
and my still main issue, you have a Superman already established who's just doing other stuff. And he wants to do another movie. People want him to be back.
Everybody said that, and this is the guy who plays Cyborg, Ben Affleck, Henry,
Cavill.
all of them said, hey, we will come back to do the
Yeah.
last two movies or even our own series, whatever. However, he needs to be in control. And if you have the cast, who obviously are your main sources of all of this, saying, hey, we don't want that other unnameable person who is shunned.
He's stupid.
We want him, then
Because
it should be common sense. But again, it's greed, it's ego, it's people want want there to be success with projects, but they want to be able to say, well, I'm the one
reason,
who did it, but you can't do that when you're not the director, you're not the actor. Like, you have to. If
a
you're running
movie,
business,
a movie is only as good as the actor or actress who plays that role.
Yes.
If you
And
cast
I would make the argument, the director, the writer, everybody is a cohesive unit.
Yes.
If everything clicks right, you're going to have a great movie. If you're doing stuff like this, it's not giving them any motivation. What I was going to say was, I was willing to give them like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's more movies coming out after a year, and that's whatever. I think, and who was I talking? I think it was you and some other people.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, is it, and it makes me thinking out loud. It's the same conversation. We just think of Disney and Disney mainly because they just like this just gigantic giant.
They
can afford anybody
Disney,
they want. They can buy out whoever.
Yeah.
So it was the argument that, well, Sony needs to stop playing before Disney just buy them out, which I strongly feel like that's coming.
I don't know if they'll buy them out. They might just buy the rights
to certain characters.
Like Spider-Man, Venom, just to get them all under. Because I know this is not even a topic, but I think they did say the Venom movie was separate from Spider-Man.
I think they somehow
for whatever
acknowledge him in the
stupid
movie.
reason. But anyways, back to DC.
But I'm gonna lie. Like, if I'm DC, if I'm looking at how this is going, and you're talking about a Green Lantern series, but then Snyder had the Green Lantern,
and you're
in the
picking
movie,
someone else.
You could have just showed him.
Yeah, I think they already casted
then,
another person to play.
But this was after.
Yeah.
Because they told him, he said he almost quit.
Yeah.
Because he said, well, I have a green, and we saw the picture of Green Lantern. I'm like, oh, he's perfect. Oh my God. Yeah. And they could have just kept that same guy. And then gave him his own, like Marvel does. They show the characters in movies, or they somehow mention them, and then they segue them
back.
into. And then they segue them into their own series.
Yeah, my huge problem with this is like he has literally the cast of Justice League
is already here
set. Because before the issue was we had the main cast at the end of Justice League. Yes. The problem was we were still missing Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. Those were the two that people said, if you're going to keep going, you have to have those two. We were going to have a pass on Hawkgirl and Hawkeye. That was fine. Everyone was like, okay, Justice League, hit or miss for some people during the first trial run of it before the Snyder Cut. And it was like, okay, you have the core, you're just missing two.
Yes.
And those two are Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern.
Yes.
And then Snyder Cut starts trending throughout, how long? 4 or 5 years on and off, it felt like.
Yeah.
3-4 years.
4 years.
And then he showed clips, and then next thing you know, he's like, hey, Martian Manhunter I had. And everyone,
that's what kind of started.
Yeah, and everyone was like, you're missing one more then. And then Snyder Cut comes out, and then like a couple of weeks later, whatever, he's like,
he said,
I had a Green Lantern.
But they vetoed it.
Yeah,
and now he almost quit, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, so in hindsight, you didn't need. I know people are excited, like, oh my God, they're making a black Superman. Yeah, power to the people. You don't need him. If you wanted to make a black Superman, you could have done it after
Henry was done.
Not even that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, they could have done the core Justice League, right? They would have had Green Lantern. They would have had Martian Manhunter. They could have done that stuff. You could have had Henry Cavill have Supergirl in his version, right?
I see it.
So if they want to do the Black Superman, they could have
Yeah.
taken him, and they could have taken Robert Pattinson's Batman and put them in their own universe. Since they're
Yeah.
technically supposed to be doing a multiverse type of thing,
Yeah.
that would have been fine. You could have had those two just chilling there, and then sprinkle in whoever you want,
Yeah.
hero-wise, or have his own villains.
Yeah.
You could have like took who's in it, like Penguin and whoever else is in that Batman movie, and left it to Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Then you could have taken Deathstroke, Joker, and a few other of his villains, and left it with what's his face that's doing Batman now or previously. Ben Affleck. Yeah, and you could have just split it up.
Yeah.
You would have had the core done. You could have had the movies ready to go. They could have kept New Gods going and the Trench movie for Aquaman, the side thing.
Yeah.
And it would have been good. You had the core over here doing their thing, doing their team-up movie. You would have the solo movies. Everything would have been flowing, ready to go. Then you could have had those two doing the multiverse thing, and then whoever else you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, you had the Joker movie. People wanted other villains under that genre of, like, horror, blood, gore, whatever you want to call the Joker's genre.
Yeah.
You could have had that. You could introduce
You could
other
have
villains.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing.
Mr. Freeze, people wanted. They wanted a Freeze movie. You could have done Poison Ivy. You could have done Clayface.
You have
Two-Face.
people making decisions that don't understand comics, and they're not nerd. Like, the one thing I look at Kevin Feige, and everybody says, like, he's literally a nerd.
Yeah.
He's a nerd that just
The difference
knows how to do business, like, knows how to
but
put
the
this stuff
difference
together.
the difference is they have things already planned out. So
But-
by the time we get to the end of this year, what's the last movie coming out this year? Spider-Man? I think Spider-Man is the last
Because
one.
Eternals is August, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man. And then when they dropped that trailer a couple of weeks ago, the last movie in that phase was Fantastic Four. It looked like.
To come out?
No, I don't know
Oh,
to come
for the
out.
phase.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
for the
sure.
phase. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure after the phase, they already have everything.
Of course they do.
They have everything lined up, and
But-
DC's just like,
But the thing go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, DC's just like, I'll go in movie. Flash.
They're just throwing stuff on board.
Yeah, and
But-
just seeing what Cindy like Black Adam's gonna nail because it's The Rock.
These-
Like they're banking on literally
they
The
are.
Rock.
But my thing, that's gonna be a different video. By
Okay.
Before we practice, I know you Disney, it's kind of like Disney gave the control to Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige said, "All right, I am someone who loves comics. I am someone who loves all that stuff. So now I'm a direct. I gotta actually look at producer. That's the title. Well, head basically
Yeah.
of Marvel in general. Like he said, I don't do Star Wars. I don't do Marvel is my baby. So when you give somebody who knows and understands the genre, who knows the characters, okay, we want to add this character. And he's like, yo, there's movies where we wanted to add this and that character, but
It didn't fit.
we didn't fit.
Yeah.
But we held off. So it's not like it's not coming.
Yeah. And my thing
But I think with Marvel, they have that credibility, much like we talked about with Sony. They have that credibility to where we trust them. They say, okay, pretty sure there's a reason. Cool. And now, like, for instance, they talked about, like, Beta Ray Bill. He was supposed to be in Endgame. He said, having him show up at the end, the final battle would make no sense.
Yeah.
But now he's going to be in love. See my point?
Yeah.
So there's they put people in place that understand this field.
Yes.
Warner Brothers feels like it's just people with suits, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Superman.
The thing
okay,
is
but there's no
also
foundation.
the main thing I would say is he trusts his directors that they hire for said movie. He let them do their thing. So he's like, okay, you're being hired to do like the lady that's doing Eternals. You're doing Eternals. Then they came back and see what she was working on. They was like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you can do X, Y, and Z with this, and everything is good.
They allow the creativity within your people.
Yeah.
Which you need.
They trust
comic
them.
book movies, especially doing now. They're basically Marvel went from land. Stuff like that. Then they kind of went off to space with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now it's literally like everything now is more like cosmic, multiverse, which again you do. With Warner Brothers, it was like, It's just
Like
they had no
Warner
choice
Brothers
but to jump
doesn't.
to-
I feel like they don't trust their directors and their producers.
If you don't
And,
trust, it is my thing. If you don't trust Snyder,
Mhm.
then you're not gonna trust nobody. Because my thing is, it's one thing if he still put up the Snyder versus people's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But it literally, everybody's like,
It was a 4-hour
if you would
movie.
have done this in the beginning, you would have been so good.
Oh yeah.
But now they did. So my thing is, well, if you're not gonna, if I'm a director and they say they want you to do it, well, I'm like, if you ain't trust that man,
Why should I?
You gonna trust
Yeah,
me?
because it's like you go to Marvel and they're like, okay, we're hiring you to do Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah.
Let's say because that's the only movie technically we don't know who the director or
Already
cast.
hired,
Shut up. So let's say, all right, we're hiring you to do Fantastic Four. Like, okay, here's blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
You come back with a script, blah blah, actors or whatever. It's like, okay, I got the actors, got the actresses. They're like, okay.
Storyline, you get writers, you get
Yeah.
they get people who specialize in these particular
Yeah.
areas and they let them
So
work.
it's like you trust them, then they come back like, all right, I don't know, like a year or so, a couple months,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, all right, what do you got? X, Y, and Z. This is script, blah 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 blah. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Blah. I was like, all right, pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. You're good to go.
And
Don't
you're
make the
not.
movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I know he still has say,
yeah,
but he still
It's
allows,
not-
it's like even if he says, okay, this might not work because X, Y, and Z, it doesn't mean we're not going to still take maybe a portion and
yeah.
implement in another
It's like,
version.
okay, you want to introduce this character, but it's not the right fit or
Yeah.
the right time in the movie with everything you have
And
going
that's
on.
fine.
So we'll take this character, leave him in an oven, let him cook for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then when he's ready, we'll
And
take
it's
the
fine.
person back out. DC, it's like, it was like when Snyder was like, they were over his shoulder every time. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't do this. I'm like,
But th-
why would I want to
But
work
that's
for
his
someone?
specialty.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
the
if I'm a
craziest
master,
thing.
it's like if you're a master chef.
Yes.
Why would you want someone over your
But
shoulder
that's the
every
craziest
few
thing
seconds?
Is that you
Because there's like,
like that's his specialty.
yeah,
That's
it's like
the
Marvel
craziest
trusts
thing.
their people so much. When James Gunn said, "Hey, I want to go do Suicide Squad,"
They
they
were-
was like,
they
"Okay,
were so
as long as you're back and you're ready to go for when we need you for
And
Guardians."
He wrote Guardians is done.
Yeah,
They said.
I think even-
here's the thing. They were so confident in this. They was like, "You could go over there because we know you coming back." That's like your success over there is only gonna make us look even better
yeah.
because of
'Cause
it.
if
And
Suicide
that's
Squad
it.
pops off, like Suicide
Which
Squad
is-
is like the third highest movie in cinema history. They're like, "Oh, well,
It's gonna do
Guardians."
what it's
Yeah.
gonna do.
So
Like-
it's like there because I remember people was like, "Oh, can he do Suicide Squad and Guardians?" And Marvel was like, okay, go ahead. When we need you, just
Yeah. Well, and the
back.
thing was, again, to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So the story with him also was that I remember he got fired,
yes,
but then we didn't know there was talks of him even. They apologized and said, "Yeah, we kind of overjumped the gun.
Yeah.
Our bad." But he already has signed up for Warner. But it's like, all right, well, when you're done, if you still want to do it, but
because remember the
Guardians of
actor,
the Galaxy 3 was already done.
yeah, because remember the actor said we're not doing
We're not
this
doing it. He doesn't
movie."
come back.
Yeah,
And then he said, "Well," he said, "No, I'm coming back," and the script's been done.
no,
I just gotta
Start,
start.
yeah,
start.
that's
So I
about
think-
it.
Yeah, like I said, man, I get back to the beginning part. Mergers are 50-50.
Like I really don't care about the other stuff that's on there.
I'm not gonna
like
lie.
unless like I'm not gonna buy Discovery Plus.
I
If
wasn't
it's
either.
if they
I think
combine
that's why
it,
they're combining it.
Yeah,
because
if-
a lot of those people didn't.
probably didn't buy it.
Nobody.
Like if they just merge HBO and Disney Plus, then I'll be like, oh, let me check what's on the Food Network. Let's see what's on here.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But other than that, only thing I care about is the DC part, and they're
If I'm in closing, if I'm Marvel, I'm sorry, Disney. I'm giving this maybe a year, maybe two, and that's to see where things go. I'm making a hard bid. I'm not gonna lie because I would do it. I would
Yeah.
make a hard bid. Go tell them, name your price.
Yeah.
We'll take your catalog, put it on ours. We'll get the characters, like all that stuff.
'Cause-
if I'm them, if I'm Feige, the moment that clock hits 12 a.m. that day where it's clear, I'm calling Snyder. I'm like, let's do this.
They would.
And
I'm not gonna say they wouldn't have a choice, but I'm pretty sure
it's getting to that
people
point.
don't want Disney being a monopoly when it comes to movies like that because Disney's buying too much stuff. But
No.
to me, if Disney came, like, say if we woke up Tuesday or whatever,
Yes.
and it's like trending all over, it's like, oh my God, Disney's about to buy Warner Brothers catalog. Everyone's gonna be like, we don't care. No,
Yeah.
we don't care. You're buying it. Are you restoring the Snyder Cut? Because
I
if
think
no,
that-
if they
Go
said
ahead.
no, we're starting over. They said, what are you starting over with?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the characters will stay only
Characters
if
will
he,
come over, yeah.
only
if
if,
they bring over Snyder.
yes,
Disney's not stupid.
Yeah.
Feige's not dumb.
Yeah, because
they all support Snyder. It's like you look at brilliance,
yeah,
and they're smart enough to know. All right, bring over your thing.
because I'm pretty sure they were, I guess in a sense, review what he has. It's like, okay, what do you have? Blah 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 blah. This is what I want to do. You got it, done. And he's like, call the cast, call the cast.
Over. They don't
say if they want to come on over. You're gonna do your Snyderverse. If they don't want to come, then we will recast.
We recast, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's Disney. Somehow they have like a magical team who can cast every position perfectly. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
I would. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but
I would do this because to me, the same way I look at the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige being a match made in heaven, Snyder and Feige would be.
Oh yeah.
Just like I hear what you're saying.
There would be so because let's say they gave him control and it's like, this is yours. Do what you want.
Yeah.
There would be so many movies that can come from all of that. Solo movies, team up movies.
I would
spend all. It'll be good.
Yeah,
I know.
So, here's my thing in closing. I wouldn't want Marvel to have like all of Warner Brothers stuff. I would just take the DC stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Matrix, they can keep all that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they take everything. I'm just saying
if they say we're buying out DC, and we're taking it, I'm okay because Marvel, Disney, whatever, both have proven that they can do this.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm making a hard bid.
Yes.
I would even wager holding off on making a hard bid for the Sony characters.
That's not that big of a deal because
they work together.
Yeah, they still have Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Sony and Marvel agreed to stuff.
Yes.
I would make a hard bid, a super hard bid at the DC just the DC stuff, and say how much. Yeah. Name your price.
I'm pretty sure they could afford. Even if
they had to sacrifice to get it, they're gonna make it up.
Oh yeah. Easily. I mean, first of all, what's the next movie that comes out? Black Widow. That'll do millions. Yes. Venom, I think, goes to Sony for money.
Yes, it does.
And then you have Doctor Strange and Eternals.
Yeah, Loki comes out.
Well, I'm sorry.
Movie.
Yeah, and then you have Spider-Man. Yeah, between those four alone, you'll have a billion altogether.
I'm not even. Yeah, man. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining because this is about to go on even longer. Thank you so much for joining us. Our next video, we will talk about another collab merge. It's not a merge, it's collab. Nintendo, smiley face, and Microsoft. Smiley I don't get you. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you in the next video.
You so dumb.